Welcome back, folks, to a new video here on the channel. The entire week we are going to look at altcoins, and most of these altcoins, they need another 10, 20, 30x just to go back to their all-time high. But there is one altcoin that is making a new all-time high after a new all-time high, and of course talking about Xrp. And the most interesting thing is, it might be a great time to long. That sounds crazy right now at the all-time high, but I'm going to show you exactly what I'm looking at. So what my idea is in this entire series of altcoins this week is that we're going to look at the chart. I am going to chart the coins, and we're going to do that from scratch so that you can see exactly what is my thought process, what I'm looking at, what do I find important or not, and what are possible trading setups. So if you like that idea, if you like the video, if you like the music in the background, please do me a favor by liking, subscribing, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share this video with your friends if you think this is useful. Without further ado, let's start diving in. As I said, we're going to look at Xrp. And something that I like to do if you are in price discovery like we are right now, then yeah, you want to see like, hey, what can I expect, what kind of price targets am I then looking at. What I then use is a fib retracement, and I like to make this tiny bit longer, and then I'm going to stretch the fib pools. So in this case I want to have on there the 1.618 and 65, so the extended golden pocket, and I'm going to do that a couple times. There you can see, yeah, so just to give you an idea, we have that measured here from that all-time high to the bear market low. This was in April 21. The bear market low for Xrp was in July 22, and there you can see that the first extended pull on the fib was right here at $3. By the way, we're right here on the weekly, and you can also see that, yeah, we were overshooting a little bit, but actually the weekly close was right there at that extended golden pocket very nicely. And then you can also see that the all-time high right here, so there's a blue line in this case in the screen, was also serving as a very nice support here for all these weekly candles. Absolutely a beauty at and around $2, very nicely. So what is then the next one, since we already surpassed the 1 point, let's call it 1 point golden pocket, since we already now had that nice retrace back to the all-time high. You can see closed a weekly candle above. This looks super nice, super clean. Well, the next one is right here at $4.67 all the way to $4.73. I'm actually aiming for even higher. Then the next one is here at $6.35 to $6.40. I'm aiming actually for even higher, but this already would be a very nice target, so $6.50. I actually think we can double from where we are right now, so approximately $7. That is my target, $7 for XRP during this bull run, and I'm going to show you exactly why. If I just take some basic calculation, then you can see right now that XRP is trading at around $3.50. We're having an evaluation of around 2 billion market cap. If it would double in price, so it goes to $7, we're talking about 4 billion in market cap right here on ETH. And ETH right now is still trading way below its all-time high. So even if this would double and yeah, ETH would stay the same, I think that would not be all too crazy. I think also ETH is going to make a absolute new all-time high. So to eventually then think, well, if ETH is going to make a new all-time high, still being the leader of the altcoin market, probably gonna go another 3x from here, then $7 for XRP is nothing too crazy at all. So that would be at least a very big target for me. Alright, let's take these extended fib pools off real quick, and then of course I want to look at something more locally, because how can we get into a trade here? There are first a few levels that I would like to mark, and I'm going to show you why. This is a tapped weekly, so I'm also going to write that down, tapped weekly, there you go. Then I have one here just above. This is a nice tapped weekly, and if I'm then zooming in here on the daily, then I actually only have one daily level underneath that is untapped. So there's this one right here. This is a daily level. We do have a few daily levels here, but actually this for me was just an entire liquidity run. You can also see that that has been done here on one day. This was the previous daily candle that ended really just underneath here. If I would actually pull it, you can see it right here. Boom. Oh, let me do this real quick. Oh, there goes well. First time behind a computer. Okay. Here you can see it, and then I'm gonna take this this damn thing off so that it's clear for you guys. And then you can see that these last push up right here on this daily candle, this thick green candle, was actually the liquidity run of this entire high. So yes, there is still a daily level, but I actually would just disregard this entire area. So therefore now we have 2 tapped weeklies and 1 fresh daily underneath. If I'm now zooming in even more, then it becomes really juicy. The first thing that I actually noticed when I was looking at this chart is the following. You could actually pull a trend line here, and then it works very nicely. So you're putting it here underneath these lows, and then you can see that it has so many touch points all the way here, starting from beginning of July. We're, by the way, right now on the 4 hour. And if I would even then add a volume profile to the mix from where we were until now, then you can see that today we had the bounce from that point of control, the most traded volume, in combination with that trend line. So this right here actually looks super nice. Matter of fact, this could be a long trade right now, and then you're putting your stop loss underneath these local lows. So let me draw in here real quick a tool. So this actually would then be the long trade, and then like I said, stop loss, I would put them underneath these local 4 hour lows, and the idea is bounce off the trend line in combination with that point of control, and then to go higher. There is right away another long trade. This one is a little bit more tricky, and what I would like to see is a quick reclaim and right away higher. And that is that, let's say we are going to lose this point of control and this trend line, and then we are going to take the liquidity underneath all of these lows. So doing something like this, and then I want to see a quick reclaim and right away higher. We cannot hesitate. Price needs to dip in and right away go higher. So in case our first trade does not work out, I would then aim for this liquidity right here. And of course your stop loss goes then underneath the candle. I would not preset it. I really want to see price action once we get there. In case the first one gets stopped out, so I want to see that reclaim of that level. $3.34, again $3.34. A quick dip underneath, stop out those early longers, and then reclaim, and then to go higher. Stop loss goes underneath and ride it to the upside. I'm aiming then at least for a new all-time high, which also are pretty much a double top. So, but like I said, actually my main target for ETH is still $7. So what I then actually would do in this case is if we get something like this, that I would just move my stop loss underneath these swing lows, probably on the 4 hour or 8 hour, and then just move it and then ride the wave as long as possible, and maybe take some profit along the way. If I would take profit, I would not only do then at these extended fib pools what I just showed you, but you can also take round numbers, for example $4, $5, $6. Usually you see the price reacts at and around these levels. The next long trade I'm looking at is also quite close to the previous one that I just draw in, and then you can see here that we have a high volume node, or at least an area where you suddenly see a volume spike. And if I would extend that, this is actually also super nice. I would also definitely interested in a trade like that. So I would only take this trade of course, if this SFP doesn't work out. So let's say we are getting eventually a move lower and we're starting to close, let's say 1 hour candles or 4 hour candles underneath that level that I just mentioned, $3.34, then of course no clear SFP level, but then you could still then wait eventually for this area. Now I do have to say, I do not have to say a immediate reaction would be nice, but I expect actually that we will spend some time here, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 hours, and then eventually to go higher. However, very important, once we reach that level of $3.34, I do not want to see price hesitate. It needs to break through this level right away. So if we're doing something like this where we are going lower, stay there for a little bit, then we're starting to hesitate here, then I think the chances are very big, then eventually you go to down and this is going to be a losing trade. Yeah, so we can spend some time here, but we cannot spend any time once we get that push up at that level at $3.34. Very, very important. Now let's say that even that trade also would not work out. It would be pretty much of a bummer, but let's say also that would not work out. Then there's actually one more trade that I'm looking at. This is already a little bit more bearish, and actually I'm not so sure if we will get it because it would mean a pretty deep retracement. But if I would take a fib pull and I pull it underneath these lows, then you can see that the golden pocket is pretty much aligning up. And actually I need to extend this a little bit because I didn't do it correctly. Should have this entire area. There you can see that this golden pocket is lining up with the tap weekly that I just draw in. We have another tap weekly underneath, then we have the daily, we have the value area, a low of this area that's right here in between these levels, and we have the 78.6. So I would actually classify this as a area and not so much as a specific price level that I mentioned earlier. And therefore also I would give the trade time to develop once we reach that. That is measured from the 78.6 to the golden pocket, so that's measured $2.80, let's call it 88 of 87, all the way up to $3.05. So $2.87 all the way up to $3.05. Alright, so that is very important, and I probably want to see something like bullish divergence on the medium time frames. Think about the 1 hour or maybe the 4 hour, the 30 minute. I want to see a clear reaction, buyer stepping in, bullish activity. I want to see something at that price level for me to get in, but I am also expecting then price that it will need some time because it is a relatively bigger area, and also here you can see it is supported by a bit of a trading volume. But like I said, if that happens, it is already a bit more bearish because it's a pretty deep retracement, and then all of these trades will fill. I actually think that the first or the second trade has have the most chance of succeeding, and again I will just trail my stop loss. I am pretty sure that we're going to take out this double top, these highs right here. This looks very much unfinished. That is also supported, and then I'm finishing the video, is that incredibly strong. You just printed here the green dot, you have the money flow, fat in the green, the view up also just crossed the zero line again, and the RSIs are high up. Also on the daily here it looks super strong, momentum wave is high, RSIs are melted together, the money flow thick in the green. This just looks incredibly strong. There are some local time frames that sometimes need to cool off here a little bit, like now you can see here on this 1 hour, looks like we want to print a red dot, but this thing just keeps on ripping up. And if you look at your classic indicators to get in, or maybe to dump your position, you would have missed out so much. What am I talking about? For example, the RSI, that is right now at an extremely overbought. That is at almost at 95. But if we're then looking at since when was that on 95, that is here, let me see, the 10th of July. So if you would have closed your position just because the RSI went oversold, then you would have missed out on, let me see, more than 50%. So in a bull run, overbought or oversold doesn't say a whole lot. I would more look at levels, at market structure, and trade off that, other than maybe an indicator saying that something is overbought or oversold. Could it retrace? Yes, absolutely. But for now, I would say, since this is looking so hella strong, I am still looking for much higher. So I'm most likely going to take this long trade right now, putting the stop loss underneath these 4-hourly candles, and if we are dumping down, that's fine. I'm taking the loss because the potential on this thing is still tremendously. So I will take then 1 hour loss on this one, and maybe the second one will play out. But you can see then if I would do that and if I write it, maybe on the first one I lose $10, and the second one, and then I win $90. I'm still way up, and you now also know how I am taking profit. That will be it for now for this video. If you like the content, please let me know in the comments, and once you're down there anyways, then also make sure that you subscribe, click on the bell so that you don't miss future notifications. That will be it for now. Thank you so much. See you in the next one. Bye bye.